Well, Grand Rising Jackson, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? Yeah, I hope y'all doing well, and y'all had a good night's sleep. Today is a new day. Today, I hope y'all got y'all morning joe for the day. I know I got mine's. So hey, what's on the agenda for today? What we gonna talk about, Jackson? You know, there's a lot of things that I have been reviewing earlier this morning about Jackson State and other things, and I kind of want to go get into that a little bit today. It ain't gonna be saying it's just what it's just something to think about. This, that, whatever the case may be. You know, um, but the first thing I want to say foremost is shouts out to all of the graduates that graduated from high school and is walking across that stage. You got a new journey. You got a new journey ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the beginning of life for you. This is not the beginning of life for you. You know, you got a lot more miles ahead. Saying before you really start your journey with life. Because number one, you got to figure things out. You got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Getting that high school diploma is just the first step of your journey. Your first step of your journey. Whether you want to go to college or whether you want to go to trade school, or maybe you just want to just get a regular 9 to 5, or become an entrepreneur. Either way you go, you're going to have to examine that for yourself. But good luck to all of you, those um, those 2026 graduates, and but like I said, and I wish the best for you in your journey. Shouts out to the parents, shouts out to all the guardians of those students that had put forth an effort to walk and to walk across that stage and to receive their high school diplomas. I, for one, what I'm saying, I have to really give y'all a shout out, and I'm always give y'all a shout out because I myself I was not a high school graduate until later on in life. I'm saying? I not too long received my high school diploma. So I'm just gonna keep that. I keep that 100% correct, 100% a buck with y'all because. But the point is that I never stopped. I never stopped trying. I just life, just how life be lifing. But I got my high school diploma, and I'm moving forward with my life as well. So, shouts out to all of you that is walking across that stage today, and and finna move forward in pursuing whatever dreams, goals, and commitments that you finna pursue. But anyway, plane landed. Yeah, but I kind of want to talk about a little bit about while we're speaking about school and everything. I kind of want to touch a little bit about this Jackson State thing where they got they got some funds to to re-renovate and rebuild and stuff like that on they campuses and stuff like that. Now, according to me, what I'm saying, I'm kind of understanding one thing. It was something I'm not understanding. They bought all that land. Jackson State bought a bunch of land. Bought folks out their houses. I'm talking about they did all that stuff to people. I'm talking about bought all that stuff out to people. I mean, bought folks out. One lady stayed right not too far, right across the street from Blackburn. She had just fixed her house up. Her house was slammingly nice. And they came in there with that mess. But she held out. She held out for a minute. She just got her house fixed up. I don't know if it was a he, she, I don't know who it was, but I'm thinking it was a woman because it was a bunch of flowers and stuff. I remember, and she held out, and but that house was nice. But then I guess they paid her what she knew. And I remember one of the ladies I used to work with years ago. They bought her out of her house. She stayed on Longino, and Jackson State bought her out of her house. So we talk about all this land and stuff that they bought, but yet, you know what I'm saying, they can't even keep their dormitories and stuff up to par like they should. Come on, let's keep that a buck. I mean, what was the buyout for? What was that for? Oh, I think it was not maybe before because they're trying to keep the environment. You know what I'm saying? They want the environment to be, where you ain't got to worry about no riffraff. I don't know. That's just my thing. You know what I'm saying? But if you remember, check this out. Do you remember? I know you, because I remember that the board of supervisors had gotten, I don't know, something up in the millions and millions of dollars. Maybe about, I want to say about 4 or 5 years ago. And they had got something up in the museum, and they wound up giving it to, they gave all that money to Hans, y'all remember. And they were supposed to have been doing something like building, I think it was supposed to have been a vocational center over on Bobby Rush Boulevard on Ellis Avenue, where the old Walmart used to be, on that hill, where New Horizon is. And if I'm not mistaken, that's what they were supposed to turn that into, but they never did. Nothing never came about that. You ain't never hear nothing else about that. Hines got all that money from the board of supervisors. That came on the news. If you all remember, I'm like, whatever happened to that? Man, you just dissed a whole bunch of folks. Then I guess something popped up with this fellow doing this vocational thing. But I don't know. Maybe something was in the plan. Maybe something was in the plan, but Hines Community College had got a whole bunch of money from the board of supervisors. Because I think the state gave them I can't remember the number, but I remember this is not no gossip. This was, if you could remember, it's like about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe more than that. Might have been before the pandemic. I'm not for sure. I can't remember exactly, but I do remember that happening. And I'm like, whatever happened to that? See, it's a lot of stuff going on that, they sweep under the rug. They'll mention it in the local news, and then after a while, it'll go away, and you don't hear nothing that comes anything of it. Just like all this mess with Jackson State, with the with the kid, with them buying up all that land and all that mess. But they bought land like in places where their school wasn't even an area of their schools, and it was just buying up land. What's that about? Hey, look, it's just something I'm not understanding. I mean, I never took time out to like ask, which I think I will, because now I'm kind of concerned, because I'm like, where's these funds should have been there. There shouldn't have been no funds granted to Jackson State. Some math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing. I'm sorry, it's not. And something just not adding up, and I'm not understanding, what I'm saying, why they bought all that property up and moved folks off their properties and all that kind of mess. But yet still now, don't you think the first thing they should have did was allocated some funds in order to get those dormitories? If they're gonna put new dormitories up, they should have been did that. If they was gonna renovate, they should have been did that. I mean, when what's that guy name? Oh my goodness gracious. Uh, I got a tip of my tongue. That guy name. They call him Prime Time. What's his name? Prime Time. When he was here. When he was here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they made so much money at that stadium. I'm talking about they was making a killing. When Jackson State was doing all that, winning the SWACs and championships, what happened to all them funds? They made bukus and bukus of money. Bukus and bukus of money. I'm not understanding that. I'm not understanding that. Where did those funds go to? I'm just tripping. I mean, I'm like, those funds, I'm like, somebody is granting them funds now for that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, maybe they got, maybe it's budgeted for that type of. I don't know. Maybe they got something budgeted for that, and they got some other entity, sending the money just for that. You know what I'm saying? The renovations. But you would think that they would have that money uh, put away somewhere and have it allocated to different funds, to different accounts. Repair accounts, renovations, new projects, things like that. You know what I'm saying? With all of the monies that they have made over the years of winning these championships and using our students to win these championships. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna tell you straight up and down. When Deion Sanders came to Mississippi, his celebrity alone created a major impact on Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Folks, they ain't know what to do with him. His celebrity alone made so much impact on Jackson State. Man, CNN and SPN and all them folks, they stayed down here. They stayed down here. And I'm talking about he had to leave in order for Jackson State to get a championship. For real. And then when they did, it was like, yo, what happened to the prestige? Because he was here. I'm just going to keep that a buck. I'm going to keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I'm just saying, all the funds that was generated, you would, I don't know. I could have just, I'm thinking like, and now they brought this up about Jackson State getting these renovations and stuff like that. Like that's that right there shouldn't even been on the news. I'm just keeping that real. That right there shouldn't even been on the news. That's so minute in my mind because that should have been happening. When my daughter was going to Jackson State, she was talking about that. She was talking about she was going to Jackson State, and she was talking about the door because she stayed on campus, and she was talking about how folks be on the waiting list and they be going over into they had these other apartments and stuff that they created downtown, and was it the Walthall apartments, and they had them Jackson State students staying down there, and it's like for me, I'm like, why Jackson State? Jackson State should own that building. They should own a lot of things, as far as places where they can for them kids. That's crazy, but nevertheless, you know what I'm saying. Nevertheless, you know what I'm saying. They'll get it together. They'll get. I just had to make that observation. You know what I'm saying, because I'm just not understanding why they kept changing hands on these presidents. What's really going on? Who's pulling whose strings? What's really going on? Hey. But anyway, shouts out to Jackson State for getting that done, making those types of moves and getting that progress, making progress on doing that because it's needed. You got students coming from all over want to come to Jackson State, and and they shouldn't have to be on the waiting list. This is the reason why I say what I say. If they go up with these buildings, like 3 and 4 stories, they have this problem. They will have this problem. They will have adequate security, just like they have now. And I'm telling you, I'd rather have more space than I need than less space and have all them kids waiting on them, having all them kids on that waiting list that's trying to come in, that done put in their work in school, like high school. They didn't put in the work in high school, and they waiting to get to Jackson State because they want to come, they want to be closer to home, or whatever the case may be, or Jackson State has something that they want to go after, and they can't because they're on a waiting list because they can't get into a dorm. They're coming from out of state. That doesn't make sense to me. There should be more. There should be more space than people. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. There should be more space than people. I would rather have more space than people. Having folks come in and clean that mess up. They ain't got to worry about cleaning it. It's already clean. Like I said, something go down, they can always move folks. They can move folks around. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have more space than I need. I'd rather have more space than I need. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, and that way them kids won't be on a waiting list. You'll generate more money. I mean, look, I'm not understanding it. I'm still saying that math ain't mathing. Man, that math ain't mathing with all them students in that financial aid. Man, that math ain't mathing. You got folks coming in and straight paying for it. Going in, boom. Folks coming in straight paying cash. Put right out a check, boom, clap. Paying for them kids' educations. Kids coming in there want straight scholarships. Paid for. Man, won't be. I'm like, I'm really pushing for them to get a stadium. What's up with that? That thing been said for a long time. But I hope they get that together, because when they do it, it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be really, really good. I think it's gonna be really, really good. Just because, like, if they can get a stadium, then they could take that little spot. It's a little spot. I guess there's a little space over there where they, a little athletic space over there at Jackson State. They can take that and go up with dorms. They go up with dorms, but go up with them. Don't spread them out. Go up with them. And see, if you go up with them, you ain't gotta worry about it. Well, I'm gonna land my plane on that one. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, that's that's up for that's like I'm saying that's up for another story, because they gonna do what they want to do. Somebody pulling somebody's strings. There's a whole nother agenda going on, and I don't know what it is, and I don't care what it is. So plain landed on that. But anyway, yeah. So we just but look, I had to come in yesterday and land my plane and fly my plane fly my plane and land my plane yesterday, but because stuff be when something ain't right, you gotta make it right. You gotta make it right. You gotta stand up, and that's why I stood up yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I stood up on my. I'm not gonna be on this too long, but I'm just saying that I had to stand up, and I stood up, and I'm gonna keep standing up. And you need to. You need to stand up too. You are the residents of the city of Jackson, and this is your home. You don't need nobody to be You don't need nobody to be disrespecting your where you live. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be standing up too. This is your home. You know, this is your home, and don't be afraid to stand up. Don't be afraid. I don't care what the cost is. I'm gonna stand up. If there is an injustice going on, that's what I do. Cause on my other channel, Blind Intelligence, that's what I do. I'm standing up for people who don't know how to stand up with these debt collectors, with you know, understanding what their rights are in terms of how to move when the debt collectors call and you over to call them or send you letters out. So go on to that channel and check me out because it could be very beneficial to you because you could be going through something financial. But like I always say, you got to get it out your head first, and then put it on, get it up, and then the paperwork will be straight. You know, but plane landed. Yeah. So, what? Yeah. Today Wednesday. I'm not gonna be on here too long. I just wanted to come on here and kind of give y'all, just kind of talk about this stuff because, like I said, I'm not, it's just like I said, it's just some things that's going on that I'm not understanding. But like I said, it's all gonna come out in the wash after a while. It's all gonna come out the wash after a while, like these data centers and everything like that. Yeah, it's gonna come out the wash. They got something going on that they're not telling the resident, about. I'm telling you, especially with these data centers. See, them folks, I found out them folks that came down here at that city council, they coming down here filing paperwork. That dude, was it Elon Musk? He finna get in a world of trouble because them turbines is diesel up there in South Haven, and it's emitting a lot of unhealthy fumes up there, and then it ain't on it, and then it's violating it's violating what was it I guess they codes or something like that, their regulation codes. And I'm like, that's why they came down here. They ain't come down here to show face and tell. No, they ain't come out just to speak to the city council. Now they came down here to file paperwork. See, it's always 2 or 3 things at one time that's going on. The folks ain't come down here just to show face and tell and give you the residents warning. No, but it was a good thing that they did speak out. Cause I'm glad they filing paperwork. Somebody need to file paperwork because if that goes on somewhere else, follow suit. Follow suit. So, I hope they get that under control, with these data centers. Because I'm not feeling them. I'm not feeling it. Jackson, you need to hold out. Residents, write letters. Inundate the state with letters. No data centers here in the city of Jackson. No data centers here in the city of holy folks, accountable, holy folks. Y'all bring y'all stuff up to a standard. Nah, we're not doing that. They don't create jobs. It serves no purpose. It serves no purpose. So like I said, stand up. Plane landed. Listen, I want to thank you for watching. This is I'm Raphael Berry, you know me, and I'm just going, like I said, I just wanted to come on here, saying, you can reach me at Blind Intelligence 718@gmail.com. You want to leave me a email me. I will respond back to you. And look here, just drop me a like, smash up the like button, and share the video out. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, You know what I'm saying? Yo, hit the just hit me the cash app. You know, dollar or something like that. You know, at dollar sign Foresight 718. That's dollar sign FORESIGHT 718. So, just hit me up, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. Show a brother some love, whatever. But like I said, I just wanted to come on here and kind of, talk about some of these things that's kind of going on, and some things that I don't understand. Maybe we can, get in a clear understanding together. And hopefully later on down the line, I'll have some more answers for, I have some answers for you to kind of, ease your to ease your mind, and some of the questions that I've been asking, you probably been asking too, and we just learn together. All right. So, but this is Wednesday. Stay informed. Stay informed. That's the most thing about it. Stay informed and stay encouraged. Thanks for watching.